Hello and welcome to Barb Talks. November is a time, at least for me, that it's just time to slow down, enjoy the simplicity and the quiet. And that has to do with my home as well. I tend to decorate less in the month of November, just to kind of reset. And I also think since this is the time of the year where it's going into the quiet season, a lot of times people go into hygge by making their areas warmer and more cozy. So that's what I plan to do as well. Part of my November decor, and I may change this out. This might be the last year that I have these things out. I have the book of my mother-in-law that has her pictures in life because of the coloring as well as because of this time of year where we honor ancestors. The bunny and the squirrel, and then I purchased some little Jack Be Little pumpkins from the store, and then after November is over, I'll go ahead and pierce those with a fork and cook them in the microwave and eat them. And then here's some little nuts that I collected by the side of the road. This is the thing that I'm thinking of possibly decluttering soon. This is a turkey plate that I don't even remember where I got it from, but I've had it for years. I had it on display in this little plate holder, but my son may be getting a new home soon, so I may be passing on some of the decor if he wants it. It doesn't really fit the vibe of the house color-wise, so I might be getting rid of that. I've got the picture up here and adds to the season. And there's some cozy, some hygge, a nice fuzzy pillow, and a dog that I got recently because I wanted to get a dog, but I'm not ready to get a live dog, so I figured a stuffed animal would be good. I also might eventually declutter this pillow cover, because now that I have the fuzzy dog, I think the fuzzy dog color goes better. And of course, you can't have fall without some music, at least in our house. My husband's a musician, so he likes to have his extra guitar up here so he can sit down and play a tune. And then I continue to have the pillows, covers, the orange and the white. Even though that had kind of the candy corn look, it's still kind of that way for November. And then I've moved the sheet up a bit. The yellow sheet still protects the back of the couch from getting too much sun on it, but I like having the green show up for fall for the month of November, so that the overall look is just a little bit different. I've changed out the family portrait above the piano to more burgundy and darker colors. And even though this one doesn't have my son-in-law in it, I think it better fits the vibe. And that one will go back up in the springtime when the colors are there. I still have some persimmons from our tree in the backyard. I do like decorating with food in this particular stage of my life. And I think that looks really nice. There's a picture I may declutter or exchange out, but for right now, I have this placemat from the dollar store, but I like the artwork involved in it. And I have that here now, but I have a picture that my son did when he was in grade school that I want to get reframed. And then what I may do is put my mom's picture here and then my son's picture over here. Basically, this is the artwork that my mother did. And I think that smaller picture would look well above the computer. And then the larger picture would fit in better here that has my son's artwork. Up here, I've got some orange candles on the outside of the blue built-in windows, and then some white candles on the crystal candle holders. And what I like about that is it does welcome in the cooler slash cozy season with some candles. The other thing I like doing that's food related this time of year is I bring out all my teas and put them on the built-in so that it's all ready for whether my husband and I want a cup of tea or whether we're having guests over, to just easily let people choose tea. And I do get more tea in the cozy season so that there's plenty of selection. I have everything from black tea, which has the caffeine, to the green teas. And then I have a lot of herbal teas, and then even some spearmint and calendula from my garden. And I'll probably put more of my garden teas in here, well, my garden herbals in here as well. Let's take a look at the bedroom. The cozy season, I change out the duvet for a red flannel. And it just gives an opportunity to make sure that the duvet cover has been washed and cleaned. And since I've been getting over a sinus infection, I have extra water next to the bedside table, as well as the book and Kleenexes. And I've changed out the picture to, I guess it'd be a less colorful picture. Even though December has the, quote, darkest day of the year, December also starts the changing back to a lighter time. So there's something about November to me that just feels, in some ways, a little more cozy, a little more quiet. And so that's why I have what I consider a more quiet picture, family picture, next to my husband's bedside table. Outside, last month, the aronia bush was full of bright leaves, but they've fallen off and are covering the ground, giving the ground a blanket of warmth for the winter, as well as some good mulch for next year. And the persimmon tree has long ago given up its fruit to either myself and donations and or to neighborhood squirrels. I keep out the wooden bench and the hand chair, but I have put the white plastic table that we had outside that's now in storage in the garage. We still actually do have a handful of berries still on the backyard bush. I'll get out there and pick those today and enjoy eating them. But the backyard is just beautiful. Nature is beautiful any time of the year, I think. And this just gives an opportunity to take a look at some of that beauty, especially when I'm in bed. I can just look out this window and watch the seasons change, and I do enjoy that. On the altar above my dresser, I have a nice quiet look this month. A meditating wood statue that I've always enjoyed, that just for me represents calm and going inward to contemplate the year, thoughts, center myself, and have the salt candle and the air freshening plant. And then I've changed out my silver thin jewelry to some gemstone jewels. We've got onyx and mother of pearl and bloodstone. This actually looks black, but it's green, a very dark green. And then sometimes I'll take those down and wear them. So that's another thing that I like to do, is have some of my wearables on display. So instead of having a lot of extra decor that's not necessarily useful, I like having the plant that's useful to clean the air, the candle that's useful to change the ions in the room when it's lit, and the gemstone jewelry. So really the only thing that has more of a spiritual, emotional feeling would be this particular wood carving, and just the delicacy of that somebody put their time and energy into creating such a beautiful piece of art with their hands. That just makes me feel somehow more connected, more grounded. I hope this little walk through my gentle little home this November. Maybe it's given you some ideas on how to decorate with what you already have. That's I think it's called feng shui or feng shui. That's a very useful tool. So instead of going out and buying a lot of things that you don't need to put up as decorations, to think through what you already have and maybe reuse things in a creative way, whether it be fabric on the couches or whether it be candles or food items or plants or clothing items, accessories, things that you might not think of as decor, but could double as decor and also remind you of family memories and help center you this time of year. Thanks for being with me today, and thanks for watching Barb Talks.